Genesis 30. I read from the Institute for Scripture Research because it takes a direct translation from Hebrew to English, Greek to English, and Aramaic to English. Yah is a jealous El, and I am very certain that he does not enjoy people using pagan idol names or other idol names instead of Yah, and just assuming that he understands what you're saying. I think that's blatant disrespect. Best way I could put it, the best way I ever saw it was blatant disrespect, and I was like, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. It's for those who know, and there's people who don't know, but willing to just not know for the sake of being ignorant is arrogance. Going back to those same people. Anyways, Genesis 30. And when Rahel saw that she bore Jacob no children, Rahel envied her sister and said to Jacob, "Give me children, or else I am going to die." And Jacob's displeasure burned against Rahel, and he said, "Am I in the place of Elohim, who has withheld from you the fruit of the womb?" And she said, "See my female servant Bilhah, Bilhah, go into her," so have sex with her, "and let her bear for me, and let me be built up from her as well." Remember the last time this happened? It was very jealous, and I can almost be certain it's going to do the same thing. People need to learn from history. So she gave him Bilhah, her female servant, as wife, and Jacob went into her, and Bilhah conceived and bore Jacob a son. And Rahel said, "Elohim has rightly ruled my case, and has also heard my voice and given me a son." So she called his name Dan. Wow, of all the names that I read in here, Dan, Dan, a real name. Oh, no, I think I spelled that right, unless it's Don. Please don't be Don. Please be Dan. And Rahel's female servant Bilhah conceived again and bore Jacob a second son. And Rahel said, "With great wrestlings I have wrestled with my sister, and I have overcome." So she called his name Naphtali. 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 And Leah saw that she had ceased bearing, and she took Zilpah, Zilpah, her female servant, and gave her to Jacob as wife. These guys, they're literally just jealousy, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Like, holy moly. Have some respect. You guys got kids to take care of. And Leah's female servant Zilpah bore Jacob a son, and Leah said, "Fortune comes." So she called his name Gad, your God, Gad, with a line underneath of D. And Leah's female servant Zilpah bore Jacob a second son, and Leah said, "I am happy, for the daughter shall call me happy." So she called his name Asher, Asher instead of Ashur. Ashur is ASS or ASH. I actually forgot how to spell that. Anyways, this one is ASHE with a half a check mark on it. R. Ashur. I think it, Ash, ASH, and then Shur is SHUR. Yeah. And Reuben went in the days of wheat harvest and found love apples in the field, and brought them to his mother Leah. And Rahel said to Leah, "Please give me some of your son's love apples." But she said to her, "Is it a small matter that you have taken away my husband? Would you take away my son's love apples too?" Ooh, the jealousy is burning. And Rahel said, "Therefore let him die with you tonight for your son's love apples. Therefore let him lie with you tonight for your son's love apples. Oh my goodness. Do you see what is happening here? And when Jacob came out of the field in the evening, Leah went out to meet him and said, "Do come into me, for indeed I have hired you with my son's love apples." And he lay with her that night. Seriously. And Elohim listened to Leah, and she conceived and bore Jacob a fifth son. And Leah said, "Elohim has given me my hire, because I have given my female servant to my husband." So she called his name Yisaskar, Yissask, with a line underneath of it, Ar. And Leah conceived again and bore Jacob a sixth son. And Leah said, "Elohim has presented me with a good present. Now my husband is going to dwell with me, because I have borne him six sons." So he called his name Zebulun. Sorry, I'm just like cracking up over these women going back and forth over this. Holy, it's Zebulun, Zeb, with a line underneath of it, Ulun. And afterwards she bore a daughter and called her name Dinah. Oh, finally a woman after all these men. Dinah. And Elohim remembered Rahel, and Elohim listened to her and opened her womb, and she conceived and bore a son, and said, "Elohim has taken away my reproach." So she called his name Joseph, and said, "Yah has added to me another son." And it came to be, when Rahel had borne Joseph and Jacob, that Jacob said to Laban, oh, oh, I'm not sure if you can hear that. The bell? Calling all Satanists to the Catholic Church. Where was I at? Got rid of the reproach. Okay. So she called his name Joseph, and said, "Yah has added to me another son." And it came to be, when Rahel had born Joseph, that Jacob said to Laban, "Send me on my way to go to my own place and to my land. Give me wives and my children, for whom I have served you, and let them go, for you yourself know my service which I have done for you." And Laban said to him, "If I have found favor in your eyes, please stay, for I have diligently watched that Yah has blessed me for your sake." And he said, "Name me your wages, and I give it." So he said to him, "You know how I have served you, and how your livestock has been with me. For the little you had before I came has increased greatly, and Yah has blessed you since your coming. But now, when am I to provide for my own house too?" And he said, "What do I give you?" And Jacob said, "Give me not, Naught, exclamation mark. "If you do this for me, I shall again feed and guard your flocks. Let me pass through all your flock today, removing from there all the speckled and spotted sheep, and all the black ones among the lambs, and the spotted and speckled among the goats, and these shall be my wages. And my righteousness shall answer for me in time to come. When you come concerning my wages, every one that is not speckled and spotted among the goats, and black among the lambs, it is stolen, for it is with me." And Laban said, "See, let it be according to your word." And on that day he set aside the male goats that were speckled and spotted, and all the female goats that were speckled and spotted, every one that had some white in it, and all the black ones among the lambs, and gave them into the hand of his sons. And they put 3 days' journey between himself and Jacob fed the rest of Laban's flocks. And Jacob took for himself rods of green poplar, poplar, and of the almond and chestnut trees, peeled white strips in them, and exposed the white which was in the rods. And he set the rods which he had peeled before the flocks in the gutters, in the watering troughs where the flocks came to drink, and they conceived when they came to drink. Oh, excuse me. So the flocks conceived before the rods, and the flocks brought forth streaked, speckled, and spotted. And Jacob separated the lambs and made the flocks face toward the streaked, and all the black of the flock of Laban. But he put his own flocks by themselves, and did not put them with Laban's flocks. And it came to be, whenever the strong ones of the flock conceived, that Jacob placed the rods before the eyes of the flock in the gutters, so they would conceive among the rods. But when the flocks were weak, he did not put them in, so the weak ones were Laban's, and the strong ones Jacob's. Thus the man increased very much, had many flocks, and male and female servants, and camels and donkeys.